I'm Kemi Olunloyo, Dr. Kemi, retired journalist. In 2018, when I was released from prison during the Biomi case, I got on this case, Ochanya Ogbanji. Many of you were probably still in secondary school. An average person in their 20s now was probably 17 or 18. So you were not in the conversation. I taught you about this. There's some times when there are news stories that you weren't in the conversation. So now you're in the conversation and you're all jumping on a bandwagon that is already dead. Okay? Blind activism is what they call that, and herd mentality. And this is what you guys do in Nigeria. What is exactly fundamentally wrong with you guys in Nigeria? Okay? When Kemi Olunloyo was talking about Ochanya Ogbanji, okay, I was a tribal bigot. I hate Igbos. I hate this one. I hate that one. You did not see what I was trying to say. The very same year, you're hating me on the Dakolo case because this case was around that time. And that also involved alleged rape. We now know 7 years later that there was no rape in the Dakolo case and Busola lied. And the court, fined her 1 million naira and the case was dismissed. You always run on these stupid bandwagons that have no meanings, all right? Let me tell you about the story of this girl. One person has already identified on Facebook that I was the one talking about this case when they swept it under the carpet. Now, it's been 7 years and you're still demanding justice for Ochanya Ogbanji. Why are you still demanding justice? The two suspects in the case were acquitted. The court said there was not enough evidence. The aunt that sent the girl to live with them, was sentenced to 5 months in prison for negligence. Nigerians were outraged because they thought that the woman was innocent, but she was aware that this girl was being raped. She was well aware, but she kept quiet. These are what they call enablers. So she got 5 months in prison. The two men, father and son, were acquitted. They've since fled the state. They've gone, and they moved on with their lives. At the end of the day, people, it's you that you want to bring them back and get justice. Nothing's going to happen. So what happens next is every single celebrity or public figure jumps on this campaign so that they can get more followers, more attention. This is what is going on. Keep it real. This person, Juliet, said, please lend your voice to Ochanya case, the 13-year-old girl that was sexually assaulted by her uncle and his son. She eventually lost her life. They tagged me, they tagged VDM. And I said, I don't lend my voice to activism causes. I'm an activist. And my activism is drug abuse and gun violence. But I still don't do any of this lending business. I'm a real activist. I give my voice. I don't lend. However, I no longer speak about Nigeria. I left activism and journalism. I'm focusing on my own mental health and wellness. I'm just trying to help, Regina costs me insults from her and her fans for the drug abuse part. Speak for yourselves and don't wait for public figures to be lending voices and all. When I was talking about child incest in 2018, I was attacked. This case happened that year. Little did anyone know that I was also molested at 13 on the streets in a riot, and the person supposed to protect me fled the scene, my own father. I go on, and this next person said, please speak about Ochanya. Ochanya is my sister, my daughter is me. Oh, so you guys know that now, in 2025, 7 years later. This is fake shit. This is bandwagon herd mentality shit. Okay, so now Punch is posting today. Celebrities amplify. What are you amplifying? The people that did this stuff have been acquitted. This case is not going to be reopened. 7 years? Are you stupid? What happened to the same year when they were acquitted? These people were acquitted in 2022. We're talking about almost 3 years now, and you all kept quiet, swept it under the carpet. You guys need to open your eyes and see what's going on in Nigeria. During the pandemic, I mentioned this one. I'm always talking about incest. June 2020, Anambra fathers raped daughters more during the lockdown. During the lockdown, fathers in Igbo households were actually raping their daughters. But they called me a bigot here too, tribal bigot. And now we have Area Star, Tiwa Savage, of course, celebrities always kicking in anywhere that's going to give them attention or more followers. Leave this case alone. People like Aisha Yesufu, you can see her tweet. I went to dig it out. 2019, the year after this stuff was going on. Look at her tweet. She hashtag justice for Ochanya, hashtag Abuja women, Abuja police raid on women, which is something I spoke about too, about the raid. And then I stand with Busola Dakolo. Those were the ones, because they have three things in common: rape, Okay, Abuja police were actually raping some of these women that they said they took during the raid. So here are people who are doing real activism and you are jumping on shit. Stop it, please. Okay, read my write up in the next frame.